This Sportsnet Central update is presented by Drayton Resort and Casino.
The NBA, where a big three combination of players often proves successful on the court, has a big three in terms of franchise value too. The Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, and the LA Lakers are the league's most valuable franchises by a wide margin. Sportico announced in its annual assessment Wednesday, the Warriors are worth $9.14 billion, the Knicks $8.3 billion, and the Lakers just shy over $8 billion according to the report. And the Warriors are the second most valuable franchise in the United States, following the Dallas Cowboys, who are valued at over $10 billion. So we welcome everybody back to Toyota Warriors postgame live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champ Festus Ezeli. I am Vontae Hill. I grew up watching the Golden State Warriors. Fez, you played for the Warriors. You watched them from afar. You played too. Well, of course, Willie, you played for the Warriors, but you remember where this franchise was at. And to see them become one of the league's most valuable franchise and second in the United States, pretty remarkable as Joe Lacob and company bought this team. And you see what's happened since then. Amazing transformation. Joe Lacob and his ownership group has done an amazing job developing this into a championship team. On the floor, off the floor, they're incredible in the community. It's total evolution of the Warriors as an organization and also the NBA as a league. This has become a global league, worldwide coverage and so many people watching this league, and the Warriors capitalize on all of that, of course winning championships. But I think the way they do it, you know, Steph Curry sets the tone, and I think everyone falls in line behind Steph, but of course hanging banners. But I think the fact that they are very conscious of sharing their wealth in the community. You mentioned they're going to do a lot of stuff in Oakland as well, always reaching out to the entire Bay Area, and it's just been an amazing transformation of this franchise, and Joe Lacob and his ownership group deserve all the credit.
Yeah, when Joe and Peter Gruber bought this team, they had a vision of what they wanted it to be. First, they wanted to win. And the vision, you know, at the time when they thought this team was overvalued at $450 million, they thought, well, this could be better. First was getting the right talent, right? And it was investing in Steph Curry, investing in the right team. That led on to win the championship and have all that happen. But it doesn't happen if you don't have the right guys around you. So Steph Curry is a testament to Steph, the talent that he brings, but the way he's able to incorporate other guys is the team-first mentality. And then next is investing in the team and making sure that you give them all the tools that they need to really thrive. Also, what's the vision to also come to San Francisco, build their own arena? All these things are all the parts of investment that you see that you get to benefit off when you have this bill as the top value franchise.
And this is an incredible accomplishment, you know, 10, 12 years later, but it all goes back, much like a player, the daily work habits. Festus talk about the vision. You have this big, you know, grandiose vision, but you have to do the daily work. Just like the players do, that's what the ownership group has done, and it's really paid off.
Now we've seen tournament games at Chase Center, All-Star game now.
One of the most beautiful buildings I've ever been in my life.
And everything
I've been a lot
around
of places.
it.
It's such a beautiful building.
So I traveled this summer, and I'm traveling with Clay in Africa. And the jerseys, he was so surprised at all the jerseys, all the Golden State Warrior jerseys, Klay Thompson jerseys, Steph Curry jerseys. It's just the worldwide phenomenon that the Golden State Warriors have become, obviously with winning championships, but it's the style of basketball that people love, and it's also what the stars stand for. Now, think about what Steph Curry has done in the community, what he means to him and his family. So these things are all the things that the Warriors have invested into the right people, and really the winning has only multiplied that.
The brand of basketball. I remember in Times Square during the All-Star break in New York City back in 2015, big billboard of Steph Curry in the middle of Times Square.
And well, All-Star weekend's here in February, so we're going to have a big party.
Lock and load, baby, lock and load. All right, we're going to look at the odds. We're going to look at the benches, but you don't need to. The Grizzlies bench scored 82 points. They're the highest scoring bench in the league. The Warriors bench, well, they made it look good at the end there. But let's take a look at the odds because we laid off, presented by Great Resort and Casino.
Thank you for saving me some money.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just chill for a little bit. They were only 2.5-point underdogs
Christmas
tonight.
Money now.
Vegas, a little off tonight.
Vegas was off tonight. At least they hit on the under. Whoever bet the over in this game must be scratching their head going crazy. But the Warriors obviously do not cover the spread in the Memphis Row. They won their 8th straight home game at FedEx Forum. So we go to the great KB, Kareth Burke, and of course, Warriors Insider here at NBC Sports Bay Area.
Monty!
That's right, Monty Poole. I can't believe Fezzi has the energy after that one.
Man,
KB,
I got a
what do you have drummed up for us?
Boy.
Live?
I asked my producer if I could light it on fire. He said no. For our show, we need to talk about some big picture things, even rewinding back to this type of game happening after the Mavericks game, having these 3 days off, having a new player. So just some things. How did the Warriors end up 12-3 and then go to 14-12? I mean,
there were a lot of factors in play there. The defense was pretty good early. The opponents were pretty soft for the most part. The schedule was pretty favorable for the Warriors. And so now we knew this was going to be a rough patch of the schedule. This is the roughest part of the schedule, but you didn't think it would be catastrophic. And that's kind of what,
51 points.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you're seeing right now. And you know, the rotations are kind of all over the place now. There should be some solidarity, some solidifying there with Schroeder coming on. But until that happens, and then you couldn't expect this guy to come in tonight and ball out. You know, oh, let's save us, Dennis. You know, no. I think in time I'm sure it'll get better. But tonight it wasn't there, and it's troubling because, like you mentioned, you know, you had a break, and you practiced, you scrimmaged, and this was the result of all of that. That's troubling. So there are going to be all kinds of eyes on this next game. Yeah. I mean, if this is an 0-2 road trip, they get blown out again, it's going to be ugly. All
right, we don't have a panic meter on our show, but I can keep ripping up little pieces of paper, I guess. We'll sort out some of the big picture things, especially with Schroeder. We'll talk about Schroeder in the show because I don't even think it's fair to assess him based on this game. No. So, yeah. All right, guys, that's what we have, and kudos to you.
Baptism by fire.
If you'd have lit that on fire, the box score, I would have loved to see the sprinklers go all over the place. We all need a shower right after that game, cleanse ourselves from that 51-point loss. But don't worry, Karen, if they get
Positionless.
I'm so upset. After all the
hosting, broadcasting,
burn the tape.
Burn the tape. Now,
rip up the stat sheet and burn the tapes.
I'm not sure half our newsroom knows what a VHS tape is, but this is what we're doing.
I know
what
a VHS tape is.
Burn a lot of those.
One of the tapes I burnt, I was just telling you guys. My freshman year at St. John's, we're playing Georgetown at the Madison Square Garden, 19,000 people. Halftime, we're down 41-9. I'm like, okay, I came to the wrong conference. I'm over my head here. But masterful halftime speech by my coach, Lou Cornacek, who just passed away. We had a service last week. One of my closest people to me in my life. He comes in halftime. We all think he's going to start throwing chairs and moving furniture, as you said. He goes, well, guys, we took a big dump on Madison Square Garden's floor. Let's use the second half to clean some of it up, and we'll get back to practice tomorrow. And I think we went on a 14-game winning streak. Ooh. So the ability to handle a somewhat humiliating, embarrassing performance, Coach Cornacek came through with some incredible advice.
That's so much more tame than my story. And, you know, we're playing against our rivals, Vanderbilt versus University of Tennessee. And before this, I knew Coach Kevin Stallings hated the University of Tennessee, so never wanted to lose to Bruce Pearl. And we get there, and before we know it, we look up. I think it was like the first 10 minutes of the game, we're already down 20. And I've never really been a part of anything like that. And we're getting our tails handed to us. Rebounds, threes, everything is going their way. And I remember Coach called the timeout. He was like, all right, don't you worry. I'll see y'all in practice tomorrow. I was like, well, Coach, you might as well just sit me now. I'm going to save my legs.
So he went the other way. He went for punishment.
Oh, man, he went for blood. He went for blood. He chose murder. Next day, and, you know, I think those kind of memories are so you were asking me before, like, do you remember any of your losses? I was like, man, I had to block some of this out because the repercussions.
In 2015-16.
Oh, man, I hate losing after that. There was not really a lot of losing in my career after that.
Well, I think there's a reason we both went to our college experience because we only played 40 games, right? 35, 40 games. The NBA, it's a little easy to brush it off. You lost by 51. It's like Kerrit did. Rip up the stats, burn the tape, you know, have a little practice tomorrow and get
ready for
back
Minnesota.
On track on Saturday against
there you
Minnesota.
Go. Our Toyota drive ahead. We just seen this team for a little baseball series where the Warriors and T-Wolves split. The Friday night game, the Minnesota Timberwolves won by 17. Anthony Edwards went crazy in the fourth quarter, but the Warriors bounced back. They had a hell of a game against Minnesota to split that series. So, look, third time in 15 days they'll take on the T-Wolves, and the T-Wolves right now getting blown out by the New York Knicks. Both teams are going to come into that game at 14-12. Both of these teams didn't win in the worst way.
This is not a good defensive week for the Warriors. 143 one day, 144 the next day. I need the defense to come back and play. All right, I miss that part of the game for the Warriors. Coming back and fighting against the Minnesota Timberwolves would be ideal. You got to come in, and another game in the books for Dennis Schroeder. Today was not a good outing for him. At least for him to be integrated into the Warriors offense.
T-Wolves down by 31 right now to New York.
They're going to be desperate for a win, and number one on the scouting report, Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man.
No doubt about that. They got to get Steph Curry rolling here. Debut to forget for Dennis Schroeder. Dubs Talk Live is next. KB Amani Poole. They will get you through it.
Monty!
They'll provide a therapy session for everybody out there.
You got to talk?